All right, well, let's turn down Sinatra here on this fancy Bose Performance Series sound system here in the QX60. This 2025, not really anything new with it except for one major thing, and that is the powertrain. No, they didn't put a CVT in there, and no, but they did change out the V6 for the VC turbo. The VC turbo is a 4-cylinder, variable compression, 2-liter. I think it's got around 268 horsepower, and I'll fact check myself in the video. And it's got a really torquey power band to it. This engine is going into the new Murano, and it's getting the 9-speed. So this vehicle is kind of like a heavier third row version of the Murano. Obviously, it's a little bit fancier, with, like, you know, the leather on the dash and, you know, the real wood in here and whatnot. But that Murano's no slouch. So I wanted to see how this VC turbo with the 9-speed auto behaves like. One, to say if I can recommend this over the outgoing V6, but also to shed light on the new Murano. Because no one's driven it yet, and that will be happening soon in the next month or so. But in the meantime, I can drive this QX60 with the same powertrain and be able to tell you what the Murano will be like to drive. Now, there will be some differences. This is tuned for premium fuel. The Murano is tuned for 87 octane. And so the Murano is not going to make as much power. It's down about 25 horsepower or so to this. It's down on torque as well, if I remember correctly. So let's talk about, okay, how is the VC turbo? I think it's louder than the V6, and that's one of my favorite things about the outgoing model, the outgoing V6 QX60, is that it was just so buttery smooth. I'm here to report after that first acceleration that I don't believe it's as smooth, nor does it sound as good as the old V6. It's also seemingly a little laggy from the start, okay? I don't remember that ever being an issue with the V6, so maybe it takes some time for this turbo to spool up. The shifts they're not like sporty, they're smooth, but I don't know if they match this engine. The V6 had a very slow and luxurious, but like the V6 also is just like, it doesn't ever seem like it's trying that hard. And so when you have a slow transmission with the V6, it kind of works out. This peppy 4-cylinder almost feels like it needs to have, maybe I need to just put it into sport mode. It feels like it needs to have a quicker acting transmission to benefit it. So pedal down here. I mean, you get that torque, but it's not available right away like I feel like maybe in the V6. Now, you might be saying, Kirk, this has better torque than the V6 in theory. Yes, it does, but like the response doesn't seem to be quite as good. Maybe it's because it's a heavy vehicle. Now, I have been in the QX50 and the QX55 with the VC turbo and the CVT, and that's lightning fast responsive. And you can say all you want about CVTs, but one thing that those Infiniti turbo CVT combinations are good at is giving you the power and the responsiveness as soon as you put your foot down. It's I feel like this is kind of a side grade. Actually, in some ways, you guys might argue that's a downgrade. You have less cylinders here, the engine's working harder. I understand all of that. And this vehicle just handled that bump like a true luxury vehicle. I hit it with the kicks earlier, and the kicks did not like it. I hit it here in the QX60, and it's like, it didn't disrupt me at all. But the rest of the QX60 is fantastic. The steering feel is nice and firm. The materials and the luxury are fantastic. I'm going to turn on my massaging seats while I'm at it. I could put on my ventilated seats, which, why would I do that? Because it's actually cold here and outside of Nashville. But I feel very luxurious in here. Does the engine take away from that? No, because most of the time, and maybe I'm putting too much emphasis on the engine here, but that's really the only difference between this year and last year. Besides that the black label that I took the selfie with in the thumbnail, if you guys were wondering, that was with the black label, not this specific trim. This is the autograph, this is the top of the line. The black label's based off of the Luxe or the Pure trim. I'm terrible with Infiniti's tiers. Anyways, I know the autograph is the top, and this feels very luxurious in here. I missed my turn, by the way. Yeah, the rest of this vehicle feels super luxurious, super refined as I go off the road a little bit. It's a nice vehicle, and here's the interesting thing, is that this vehicle is based off the Nissan Pathfinder, but the Nissan Pathfinder for 2025 keeps its V6 and the 9-speed auto. This shares its powertrain now. The only other Nissan Infiniti product that has this powertrain, the VC Turbo with the 9-speed, is the new Murano, okay? And I think it'll feel more at home in the Murano than it does here. I think I'm gonna really miss the V6 in the QX60, just like I really miss the V8 and the Armada and the QX80. But what is it? I mean, all the competition is pretty much downsizing to their engines, force induced. That's just the way of the world. And if you want a V6, go get a V6. If you don't care, you don't care. I mean, in terms of performance, this is probably about the same as the V6. Maybe not peak horsepower, but torque-wise, it outperforms old V6. But it just feels like this engine has to try a lot harder. But once it goes, it goes. I think that, like I said, this powertrain is going to be great in the Murano, but here in the QX60, I'm not sold on it. Let me know, guys, down below if that's not a game or deal breaker for you. Man, I love the steering in here. It's just so good. It's so old school feeling. I'm going to take it out of sport mode, but the most of the time people in their QX60s, maybe they don't care for acceleration, or they don't care about the silky smoothness of a V6 and it being replaced with a buzzier 4-cylinder. It's nowhere near the bottom of turbocharged 4-cylinder refinement. I would say it's still pretty good, but I'm just partial to V6s. I'm partial to natural aspiration in traditional luxury vehicles. They just feel so good. This engine, it's serviceable, but hey, I still love the looks of the QX80. I love the luxury. I like how they drive. I like the safety of them. And yeah, man, it's comfortable in here. So the engine is just a small piece of the whole puzzle. I'm a car enthusiast, so it's a big part of the whole puzzle for me, as you guys know. So, I mean, my recommendation really doesn't change from what I said in the press release, when I covered the press release of this vehicle. It said, for 2025, maybe you just lease this vehicle now, all right? And then the 2024, I would have bought it or leased it. That's how good that the whole package was. Now it's still good. I feel like it's missing a little bit of its soul. I don't feel like this engine is a good match to this vehicle. And you might be saying, Kirk, you're just throwing Nissan Infiniti under the bus, and the answer is no. I don't recommend the Lexus RX with the turbocharged engine. I like the hybrid powertrains in it. Unfortunately, Nissan Infiniti doesn't have any other powertrains with the QX60. If they had like a V6 plug-in hybrid like some of the Lexuses, or they had naturally aspirated hybrids to put in here, or plug-in hybrids, I would probably recommend those over this VC Turbo as well. But yeah, I got to cut it off. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to stay tuned for more Nissan coverage on the channel. Hopefully I get a chance to drive this for a week with the family, and maybe this powertrain will grow on me. It's okay. And for a luxury car, is okay enough, and maybe you don't care about acceleration or performance. You really like how this thing handles, which I do. Maybe you like the comfort, maybe you like the design. I like all the other things about this vehicle, and it's just, it's serviceable, the engine now. So thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you in the next one, and peace.